Welcome, healthy friends, to the Reality of Health podcast. If you don't mind, I'd like to run this by you. It's a theory of mine, partially stimulated by someone else, but most of this is my theory. Let me know what you think. So it has to do with iron and water and blood and oxygen. And if you haven't figured out by now, we're talking about breathing. I'm going to give you some insight, things I'm thinking about, and also just some stuff we already know. But about 50% is just going to be my thoughts and theory, okay? Here we go. So here's my theory on iron. I believe that it's possible that it holds the charge that comes from the ether, like a magnet. If you breathe in, you get charge from the air. I theorize that oxygen is what is holding the charge from the ether that's, near the Earth's surface. That charge transfers through the lungs and further energizes the oxygen in your blood. The iron in the red blood cell might be positively charged. I'm not sure of that, but I'm thinking that's kind of what's happening. Therefore, holding the charge from the oxygen to the red blood cell, if there is such a thing as the proverbial cell. Remember, Gilbert Ling removed the cell membrane and everything stayed intact. Of course, you remember, I speak about this all the time because this is how I see life as we know it, but Tesla said if you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So maybe the purpose of breathing is to breathe in energy, frequency, and vibration, known as ether. Think about it like this. If you stop breathing, you die. How do they revive you? Well, the first thing you try is you want to breathe into another person. That's called CPR. I'm sure we've all heard of that. You're breathing energy into another person while another person is rhythmically pushing on the heart in order to create flow. If that doesn't work, then you use the defibrillator. This is what I'm trying to say. Hear me right now. The defibrillator does not give you oxygen. Remember, you stopped breathing. You passed out. You died. Then they use electricity to revive you. They didn't use oxygen. You see? You're not an oxygen being. You're an electrical being. Electricity flows through your body, in your water, in all your different tissues. When you lose the electrical charge in your water, you're dead. Or if you survive resuscitation, then maybe you have tissues that are now dead. Did you know they've seen circulation still happening after your heart stopped for actually quite a long time? What is that? Why did that happen? It happened because of electrical charge left over just enough to keep circulation barely moving. You don't have enough electricity in your body to be alive. You may have just enough to keep flow, like a siphon. It is said that we breathe in order to get oxygen and to release carbon dioxide. I think that's one reason we breathe. We do know that carbon dioxide is negatively charged. I know that the body has an acid-alkaline balance. Breathing definitely helps you control your pH. I can't fully explain it, but somehow iron and oxygen and water are your main components of you being a battery. Yes, many other nutrients that we have are charge-oriented like electrolytes. But without iron, you're in really bad shape. If you have too much iron, you're in really bad shape. More so than with any of the other ones. I can't place my finger on it, but by using magnets, iron will attach to a magnet like crazy. So if we're electrical beings that put off an EMF field, electromagnetic field, which is absolutely true and it can be measured in many different ways, then why do we have so much iron in our body? And why is your blood centered around iron and water and oxygen? See where I'm going with this? I'm going to read you a quote from Dr. Augustine. He says, in terms of mass iron, it is the second most abundant element on Earth. And whenever iron is present, it forms certain complexes. And when water is present, the building and energy substance of life, is released. Doesn't that sound totally awesome? That was me saying that. The earth is alive since the fusion of elements always result in iron. The whole universe is full of water and surface membrane substance. He's referring to coherent water, or also known as organized water, of which holds together and binds everything. Even our sun is probably made of the substance since it has the density of 1.41 kilograms per liter, which is the same as coherent water. It is reasonable to assume that life is everywhere since water and its dense substance, which emerges from it and turns back into water while releasing energy, has been proven to absorb, store, and release information of all kinds. There is now also a concrete idea that everything is connected to everything else. Also, the processes of consciousness, of feeling, and perhaps even of thinking. Gotta love that. Does that not ring true? You see, it's all connected. One thought, through water, in all elements. What you think makes you who you are. It tells your body to be healthy or not. It matters what you think. Water is responding to everything you think about. All of your stresses. You think negative, you're going to get sick. You think positive, you're going to get well. So what he's saying is water holds charge, or EMF, or thoughts, or feelings, or even outside influences from the sun, or lightning, or just about anything. This could explain cultures that have medicine where they say it is chi, or ki, or prana, or life force, or any number of descriptions. I'm sure there's quite a few. When you get down to the base elements of the body, when your coherent or structured water breaks down, you have disease. You will see symptoms like heart issues or joint pain or dementia, Alzheimer's, to name just a few. The water that is storing the energy, utilizing oxygen, is gone or almost gone. So the tissue is no longer electrically charged or coherent. The water has become bulk water, not structured and not coherent. Also known as fourth phase of water. You can picture it like almost a gel state. Think Jell-O. If you can't tell, I love this topic so much. I'm having so much fun talking to you about this right now. So in modern science, they've brought everything down to particles and systems, and they've completely ignored water. Instead of seeing the water as the basis, they just plain out ignore it. Then they think it's all the other stuff that they either postulate is there or theorize that is there. The only thing that we know for sure is that there is a, quote, cell-like, unquote, structure. There is a nucleus. There is mitochondria, and there is water. That's it, nothing more. But Eric, I've seen pictures of cells. I know what you're saying. Trust me, I know. What you saw are artist renderings, especially in textbooks, of what they think is there. And then when they take electron microscope images, it's just black and white mess. Because remember, all of the people that postulate cells, they have 12 different models. Because no one can agree on what a cell actually is or looks like. You see the problem with this? If somebody tells you something is one thing, but then there's 11 other possibilities, then that one thing can't possibly be true. This is why I have this channel, is to help you see you have been sold and told what to believe. They're telling you have cells, but we're not sure there's 12 different models, so we can't all agree, so just take our word for it. But you said there's 12 different types, so which one is it? And then you said all the cells are the same in the entire body. You also said DNA never changes, and yet you've proven that it does. So what am I supposed to believe? Yeah, well, how about we don't believe them anymore? How about that? So what about oxygen, Eric? Well, if you test your oxygen in your blood, and it's 100%, then how can you get too much oxygen, known as hyperoxia, and or why do you hyperventilate? Or maybe it is 99%, but if you get just 1 more percent of oxygen, you are going to get hyperoxia. It's all over. You're in big trouble. You just got oxygen poisoning because you added 1%. And see how stupid this is? I don't believe it's from too much oxygen. I believe it's from too much energy. Your body starts to hyperventilate to get rid of the charge. It has too much energy. It's trying to force it out, like vomiting. Picture it like breath vomiting. Yes, you can overcharge a battery. What happens when you overcharge a rechargeable battery? It catches on fire. I'm so glad we don't catch on fire. That would be terrible. So what is oxygen, actually? What does it do? Well, in and of itself, it doesn't do anything. It's just oxygen. Again, this is one of the ways I think. I can't prove this, but they can't either. So I know it has energetic qualities, just like everything else. When your body utilizes anything from zinc to vitamin C to, any mineral, any vitamin, anything that has a definitive reaction in the body, they don't just get burned up and disappear. They have an action associated with them. So if your enzymes in your body need magnesium, for example, that magnesium is charging the enzymes. The enzymes don't consume the magnesium. It just empowers the enzymes. You see? When that magnesium is done, therefore losing its charge, you excrete it. It's a different way of thinking. What I'm basically saying is the physical substance of oxygen doesn't really do anything. Its oxygen's abilities is what does stuff. Since breathing has such a big impact on your central nervous system, maybe it's through electrical charge. You see what I'm talking about? I mean, think about it. If your central nervous system utilizes electricity, where does it get the electricity from? You can get it from all kinds of places and things around you. And I think the main way, first, is breathing. You're breathing the ether, not just air. And of course, this is my opinion. If life is in the breath, it can't just be from only oxygen. There must be more to it. Let's say you electrocute yourself. You usually die. Probably because you had too much electricity. Duh, of course you did. But why? If we're an electrical being, you can really have too much electricity? Yeah, you burn up. Ever see someone electrocuted? It's not a pretty sight. All right, so hear me out. Your energetic homeostasis that's created from breathing in and out all day long has been disrupted with so much energy, the central nervous system can't handle it and shuts off, just like the circuit breaker in your home. The circuit breaker can handle energy coming into the home all day, every day, unless there's too much. Maybe your body uses all the different types of electrolytes in order to balance and keep that energetic field in a homeostasis. So let's say there's a poison that you ingested, and the energetic abilities, the electrical abilities of this poison hurts let's say your liver. Well, your liver shuts down. You just flipped the switch, you see? Or maybe it's in your brain and boom, you just had a stroke. Maybe it's your heart and you just had a heart attack. Yes, poisons can kill your heart and then you die. It's not from cholesterol. Maybe you ingested a poison over a long time and it destroyed your lungs. That's the switch got switched off. The circuit breaker broke. There are so many more examples I can come up with, and I'm sure you can too. So how about, let's do in the comments section your thoughts on the matter. Like everybody. I'm sure we can all come up with some plausible insights. Just remember, don't only think in terms of all that you have been sold and told to believe. Use your own intuition, your own creativity. Think outside the box. I mean, after all, there's no dumb theories. They convinced everyone there are viruses that you or they can't find at all that are out to get you. I'd love to hear your insights. Thank you for listening. I appreciate all of you. I hope I sparked you to think about why you may actually breathe. Take care of yourselves. I'm out.